count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Brother Jamal has been taken over. He will not be delivering this message today because I am sitting in for Brother Jamal today. And my name is Mr. Mundane. That's right. Mr. Mundane, make it plain. That's right, baby. Mr. Mundane is controlling the airwaves today. And I want to remind you and maybe introduce you, if you haven't thought about this, to a different perspective about your higher learning, your, even if we want to just say, your spiritual walk. Dealing with the old plain mundane. I want to start off referencing a Hebrew mythological story of Lilith. One of the creation stories is that Lilith is Adam's first wife. And Lilith refuses to lie under Adam. She insists that she be on top. So, make a long story short, she is reprimanded for taking this stance. And she says, well, fine. I'll go and create my own reality. And she flies off and they try to go and pursue her and they can't. Okay? Now, if my memory serves me correct, that when you look at the tree of life and you look at the backside of it, called some people call it the quilpoth or the calipoth, what aligns with what would be Malkuth on the front side is Lilith. And Lilith is actually the top of the tree in the Calipoth. Now, Malkuth, which I'm suggesting coincides with Lilith, is supposed to represent the kingdom to come. And the kingdom to come is on earth. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So earth is Malkuth. Now just think about this. Malkuth coincides with earth. Well, the word mundane, when you look at one of the many etymological renderings of the word mundane, look at it and break it down. The body of the word is mund, M-U-N-D. Now, if anybody wants to dance your fingers across your screen, tell me, what does mund coincide with? Mund, M-U-N-D, mund. Plug this for this phone heat up. Mund. What does mund sound like, or what is that? Okay, ain't nobody participating. Mund. One thing that mund would coincide with is mound. Mound, as in mountain. Okay. Mund also represents the mind. But let's just stick with the mountain reference, because mun, as in coinciding with mountain, is talking about something that's terrestrial, something that's on earth. All right. Now the suffix ain, an or ane. Well, one rendering is that ain means first, as in Anubis, as in the back part or the suffix of the name Satan. Satan, ain, first. Anus, first. Why is the anus first? Because your ability to eliminate has to develop through your digestive tract before the rest of you develops. You got to have a way to exit before you develop the whole system. So your digestive tract comes in and develops. One of the first things that develop in the fetus is how you're going to eliminate it. So the ain, when you see ain, you're talking about first. So we could say mundane is saying that you're putting the earth first. All right. Most people would agree with that, because that's why they use the word mundane in the context that they do, because they're saying, oh, you just infatuated with surface stuff or simple stuff, and I'm trying to go beyond that. But let's keep on going though. Let's see, maybe I'm on to something, because I'm gonna tell you, one of the most divine things you can do after you learn all of this stuff and you start expanding and pushing the boundaries, one of the most divine things you can do is to be able to deal with your mundane life. Because we're going to look at the word now. Mund is where we get the word commandment. Mund becomes manned, commandment, demand, emancipation. Now what I'm talking about here is another rendering of the word mund, as in mundane, is man. Man deals with your hands. That's why we get the word manager, maneuver, manure. Manure originally meant to take something and spread it out with your hands. Stay with me now. Now your hands have a primary task of what? Grasping things. Grasping. Okay? So when Luke Skywalker receives his tutelage, who does he receive his tutelage from? From a wise sage named Yoda. Yod is the Hebrew word for hand. You substitute the an for the o and you get yod, and it means knowledge. Same letters though, because consonants are what are fixed. Y and D, same numerical value. So they both, when we talk about hand, as in grab, conceive, we're talking about knowledge. Same thing. All right. Now, I lost my train of thought. I'm looking at this traffic. So mundane comes back to mund. Mund comes back to man. Man as in maneuver, manage. And manage is dealing with the hands, what coincides with the Hebrew word yod, which means hand. Oh, this is where I was going to go. So, what's the significance of the creation story then? The creation story is, let's go to the garden story, that aspect of it. In the garden, and I hope this ain't breaking up. I hate when my signal be going in and out. Um, in the garden story, we see that, yeah, we're opening the door, player. When we see that Eve, whose name in Hebrew is Haya, and Haya means life, okay? Eve takes the fruit and eats it. Well, in Hebrew, that comes back to Peh, Resh, Yod. Peh is the fruit, okay? Re is the mouth. Yod is the hand. Fruit, Peresh, Yod. So hand, Peresh, hand, mouth, fruit. So it's saying the hand grasps the fruit and moves it to the mouth for consumption. Okay? Why is it that the hand is mentioned in this? And there goes that Trinity again. 1, 2, 3. Peresh, Yod. In the beginning was the Word. Open the door. In the beginning was the Word, right?
Open the door.
That's John 1 and 1. Genesis 3 and 1 says, the Spirit of God hovered over the waters of the deep. Or somewhere along those lines. One of them opens up that way. And it says, the first action was, let there be light. Okay? The word that was spoken is the same fruit that was held in the hand of Eve. Eve ingested the word. Okay? But for her to first get the word, she had to understand the word. For her to understand the word, she had to grasp of the word. There we go. Yod. Yod means hand. Peresh Yod. The fruit is the word. Okay? The hand is what grabs the fruit. And the mouth is what ingests the word, which is the anointing. And I ain't talking about no Phi Beta Baptist Christian. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking on a elevated level here. This is esoteric. You see, the hand is part of this very pivotal operation in creation. This is the start of time. Time does not start until Eve bites the apple, because that is a birthing process. Birthing into the world of Malkuth. The only way, well, I'm not going to ever say only, one of the only ways to maneuver, there goes that maneuver, there go a hand word again. If you linguistics, you'll find where the hand is present in a whole bunch of stuff. The only way to maneuver and manage, there's another hand word, this reality is to have a connection to the mundane nature of it. See, this is what I'm trying to say. Why is it that Malkuth is connected to what is supposed to be the highest portion of the tree, which is Kether? Why are they connected? Even if you want to flip it, and Lilith is at the top and she's connected. I can't forget what the bottom of the Kalipoff is. Either way, why are they connected? It's the same as the umbilical cord connecting the mother to the child during gestation. Why are they connected? Because they are the same. That's why I'm so mundane. See, what I figured out was I took off so much going towards Kether, what I thought was Kether. Oh, I'm beyond this down here. This, I started making excuses for myself for being a failure in Malkuth. I want y'all to stay with me because I'm smoking today. I want you to stay with me because those who ears to hear and eyes to see, this is something for you. Because you'll look around and your life will become misery after misery after misery, and we can find things to justify it even in our studies. We'll find justification for the misery. And if you get locked into one aspect of studying, you get locked into I'm just dealing with the mystical Kabbalah, and then I don't see that Kabbalah is Gnosticism. I don't see Gnosticism is Commission. I don't see Commission as being whatever. You know, everything's connected. So if I get one-sided in any of my endeavors, I am literally doing what I think I am going away from. I think I'm going outside the box. I'm really going into a box. I am so mundane. I'm so mundane. I'm so I'm so surface level. See, there's something has happened. See, I'm telling you, something has happened. I'm not the same person I was even a month ago. I am not. You start to analyze things and really look, you know, when you really see how this works. And it's not to say that your ego is bad. Everything has a flip side to it. You know, you get thinking that, I'm telling you, there's an algorithm to feed you what you think is deep. Feed it to you. So that you were far over here, now I'm going to swing the pendulum so far this way, and I'm more lost over here than I was over there. See, listen. When creation spoke and said, "Let there be light," there was created a sine wave. Sine wave. That's the zodiac. All of us running on a sine wave. Now, there was silence. Adam and Eve in the garden was complete silence. When Eve bites into the apple, that is the same as the utterance of "let there be light," because now there is a disturbance. And that disturbance is bouncing back and forth, just like I said. Now, in between this wave going like this, there's a midpoint in there, and it always crosses over. That wave can't exist, this midpoint right there. Or this is your spine, the Jed pillar. Eta and Gala, science. Weaving back and forth, but the key to the thing is the middle. You ever heard the thing of, you know, many of you probably feel this way, is the backbone of your family. You got all the wish-washy people, you got the crooks, you got the super religious and this and that, and all of them amount to nothing. What's happening now? Michael Chaney, what's up? For low key, brother Christian, what's happening? Your mama or your grandmama, for a lot of us, is the backbone. Peace, peace, straight panther. The backbone. And you got all these different characters weaving in and out in your family, but mama is always consistent. Always, mama gonna make sure there's some food to eat. Mama gonna make sure that rent get paid. Mama gonna make sure you got something on Christmas. I appreciate that, brother. Or sister, because I can't see you on that. You got this 48 picture. I can't see your image. You got that. You got that conceal. Or that, oh, that's a brother. Okay, all right. You know, mama's gonna make sure that the car stays in the ship, stay in the water, car stay on the road. Yeah. Okay, I got you. That is the science that connects everything, y'all. I will accept the moniker of being mundane because you know how far I had to go to get. You know how many? Do you know how many thousands of dollars I've spent on literature and and ink cartridges and all types of gathering up data. That's why and you know what? I don't discount, discredit, or what's the word I'm looking for? Regret any of it. It is all part of the journey. So that's why I mean people so quick. This new generation of people want to appear like they people are going crazy with this star seed and indigo. Like, you know, one of the people who's come back to say, let me tell you something. There ain't nobody coming back to save nobody but you. There's no beloved Savior coming to save nobody but you, to save you. You're the greatest story ever told. You're the journey. So all this crap about, you know, you can read and this and that, man, that is, look, I have walked in every form of life. I know game. I have run with prostitutes, crack dealers, crack heads, pool sharks, name it. I know game when I see it. Man, it's a con game. You better find a way to stay connected. Mundane. You don't know how many people come on these screens. You can put any character up here. I can give you any persona. But what's funny, you always hear around running their mouth with me because you know what? I'm a real person. I ain't perfect, but you know what? I'm a father. My babies ain't running around here wondering like, oh man, I don't even know. I ain't seen him in like 4-5 years, He be all on YouTube. I'm not that dude. Because I do not care about impressing looking. This is real life. Like I told you the story about nobody showed up at my class. It's real life. Because my legacy, and I'm divorced from my first wife, so I ain't no perfect. But my babies, I'm involved in their life. I pay child. Yeah, I pay it. And mine ain't no stroll in the park. Mine is crucial. But this is part of Malchus. It's all part of it. Don't allow anybody to lead you somewhere that they ain't. You got all this otherworldly, advice and knowledge, but you can't even figure out how to keep your oil change in your car. You can't even figure out how to help your lady carry the load. But you are authority on everybody's spiritual destiny. But fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So the onus goes back on the people. You better learn to be mundane. Oh, I ain't got time to deal with my babies because I'm making sure that I don't, I'm trying to get off the planet and da. Your ass be sitting around here 75 years old shitting on yourself. And them babies ain't coming to change them. Hell, by that time it might be a digital depend. Somebody might text you a depend. They won't even text you a depend. Because you were too concerned with your ascension. You were too concerned with ignoring the mundane because you were so spiritual. I messed the saying up, the Zen axiom, but somebody put it in on a what you call them. It is before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Let me repeat this. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. And it's deeper than what you even think it's saying. It's not just saying that stay grounded. Listen to the words. Chop wood, separate. That's discernment. Carry the water. When I carry water, water is like this. So I've got to stabilize myself so I don't spill all my water. Not to curse. I'm so mundane. Ground yourself. Ground yourself. And all this. My brother told me that when I first became a trainer, he said, don't give nobody Islam. Don't give nobody peace, everybody. I'm discernment and balance. That's right. Break down the story. Okay, let me finish my thought before I'm going to comments let me finish this thought and I'm going to come back to the comments. My brother told me when I started training, don't clients do exercises that you can't do. So that meant I always want to make sure I could do pull-ups. A big man that could do pull-ups. You know, I want to make sure I wasn't giving nobody no diet I know I couldn't handle or no cardio regimen I know I couldn't do. So mundane. Those words were so wise. I've been into lately. I've been more into watching people who don't talk about no metaphysics. I just want to see masters at work. I follow this dude. I found this new dude who got a trucking channel, and I'm watching him talk about life and trucking. Do you know he's kicking the physics? And he probably never even heard of the word. I'm telling you, I'm so mundane. Just stop trying to look for somebody to take you to Pluto and just, I'm listening to the mastery and the people who are not trying to be no masters. I'm going back revisiting things in my life where I was at the feet of masters. Herman Steele, a master. Gary Robinson, a master. Henry Robinson, a master. Labib Mustafa, a master. These people never talked about metaphysics. Never. And I watched my uncle Labib, who was a heroin addict, Vietnam veteran, came back, was homeless, and learned how to become a carpenter, electrician, and a plumber. Took a garage and built a house out of an abandoned garage. An immaculate house. And he was so meticulous. He was a Capricorn. He was so meticulous. He drove from Atlanta to Hickory, North Carolina to pick out all his furniture. And Hickory, the Piedmont of North Carolina, epicenter of furniture in the United States, if you don't know. Some of your finest furniture comes out of the Piedmont of North Carolina. In that house that he built from a garage. So Kabbalah teaches that before together there was an Ein Sof Ein Sof. This was in the silence, something already what was going to be. This man was doing magic. He saw a whole house out of a doggone garage. I'm so mundane. I'm mundane when I'm working magic. I tell you, magic, miracles, working them. And just in the little span of time when they showed up at that class. Death is a beautiful thing, understood and worked through. Death is a beautiful thing. You can't die, you can't live. So what I'm saying is maybe rethink your approach. You're holding on so tight to what you think is being conscious or what you think is being aware. And you might be bypassing the prostitute on the road who is God. In the book of Genesis, you go back and watch my video about sex, shit, and the stomach. That's epic. I talk about the book of Genesis, chapter 38, story of Judah and Tamar and sons. And Tamar is a prostitute. But Tamar is God in the story. The God is, the divine one is Tamar. It's all of their energy to be able to create something through Tamar. She takes all of their energy. But you would think, oh, she's just an old lowly prostitute. You think it's just some old mundane stuff. And you bypassing all of that, and all of the divinity is right there in you chopping wood, carrying water. Now see the difference between you and a person who's on the job, who I'm working, I'm getting somewhere, and I got my, and I want to get me a new car, and who's infatuated with the Maya, is that you've had the ability to travel and see that there's something beyond the Maya, and you're bringing the information back. Like somebody who grew up in the ghetto and got out the ghetto, they was able to go and travel the world, make money, and they came back in a library in the ghetto, and they brought all these books and all these pictures of different places, and they're showing people that there's something beyond, but they haven't lost a connection with where they come from. That's Malkuth. That's what money really is. What I have grasped with these hands. Look what I've been grabbing. Look what I'm grabbing. Boom, 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 boom. Now I'm going to bring it back here, and I'm going to put it to work in the place where I'm grounded at. Sometimes age does matter. Sometimes to allow yourself to get older and mature. If you age the right way, allow yourself to grow. And as you grow, one of the beautiful things about life is that my eyes are getting worse, but this is what John Henry said. He said that when I lost my sight, I gained greater insight. That's one of the luxuries of aging the right way. You see these gray hairs all in their knees. I earned them. I earned my way to 41 years old, and I know I'm still considered fairly young, but still, I ain't no whipper. I'm at an age where I be respected for the life lessons that I incurred to get here, the transformations that I've gone here. I'm so mundane. Go to let's see what's okay. So Michael Chaney said, break down the story where when Cain got kicked out the garden and went and married someone that wasn't on the so-called curse. I was just talking about. Okay, well let's first deal with the words. Okay, curse means to run through. So I have to go back and read the story again about Cain. My most familiar story with Cain is Cain killing Abel. And I think that's the most pivotal story with Cain, because Abel is another word for apple. So Abel represents fruit. So when Cain ingested or killed Abel, destined Abel, and they won. So anything beyond when I hear the word curse to me is, if I hear somebody was not under the curse, then I'm more concerned about, well, what was wrong with versus the person who cursed. The curse is the gift. The curse is the gift. That means what's running through you. So that Eve ate the fruit, the divine knowledge running through. And Eve is a literal person. Of course, I know y'all are educated audience, but I'm going to say this for somebody else who might be watching. That's why you have to look at the meanings of the names. Everybody needs to own a Strong's concordance. That's one of the mythological code books you can have when you're talking about Hebrew mythology. It's a Strong's concordance, because every word you can find either the Hebrew rendering of it. Eve means higher, life. Adam means red. So coincide blood. Blood, you can have some blood, but it has to be something to animate the blood. That's Eve. She's the animation. She's the spirit. So the spirit is infused with the divine presence or knowledge once she eats the fruit. Is God. So Cain kills Abel. He eats the fruit. He becomes God. I know I went all around Robin Hood's barnyard, but basically I just see, I kind of don't, let's just say this about the garden too. Here's another clue. Garden means enclosure, okay? So the garden is and this is in my book. I break this down in my book. Bam! I explain what the garden is. An enclosure, and the garden represents a womb. Silence in the, and all of a sudden there's a light, and you got all these people on you, and all this noise. Now the baby's crying. There was silence. Time starts for the baby when this silence is. So that's the same as the garden. The garden is a pristine place of silence. And then there's an interruption. The interruption is sound, vibration. And this vibration is to bring me into Malkuth. See, I see there's too much energy being put into hate of Malkuth, and not enough attention into understanding how to, here comes the hand word again, maneuver your way through Malkuth. Do I have to give up my whole essence? Do I have to give up my soul to maneuver through Malkuth? No. That's the trick. That's what was built into a labyrinth, a maze. The key to the maze is to use your hands. Don't ever cut your hands off. Keep your hands. Maneuver, manage. If I'm managing, that means I'm controlling the environment instead of letting the environment control it. And like they say, don't let the time do you. Same thing. My hands. So from mundane, we get month, and then we get the word hunt. Hunter-gatherers. Hunter-gatherers things. Work the land. I'm telling you, the divine wisdom is in the mundane. That's why a lot of children need to be told to learn how to become a plumber or an electrician or a carpenter, to work with your hands. That's something cool. Why do you think connected to working with your hands? Because it's a ritual that is making creation. The potter's wheel, working the hands. But if a person has some higher knowledge to connect with how they're working their hands, they can find the divinity in, that's right, Roto-Root in the toilet. Finding divinity into digging trunk line, tap into the municipal water supply. That's where we're supposed to be transitioning to. We're supposed to be transitioning to a phase where we can find the divinity in the most minuscule of things. This is not supposed to be something to become dismissive and irresponsible, and then give yourself an attaboy and yourself on the back because, oh yeah, I'm breaking all the norms. I ain't being confounded, confined to those rules. And listen how silly we sound. And no biggest butch if you don't pay your rent. You're gonna be skipping that pavement like a rock going through a creek. And know if I owe you $10 and don't pay you back, you're gonna be ready to get ignorant. But you ain't worried about all this mundane, huh? Don't cop out. Don't cop out. Let's see what we got. This deep shit is a matrix itself, but it is necessary for to come full circle. Indeed, to find your own path to, to whatever your story, however your story is written out. However your story is written out. Never had the arrogance to suggest that I have the answers. And if you don't do these things, how Brother Jamal, who's not here, Mundane is sitting in the Brother Jamal. If you don't do things the way Mr. Mundane say, then what I'm trying to say is that I'm old enough to spot imbalances when I take the time to really look at things. I see a gross imbalance. And I see people who are hurt and don't have an answer for their hurt, and they found a pacifier and a band-aid, and that they are doing something phenomenal when they've just merely on a new street within. So, like I say, it's not intended to, it is what it is. Like my grandmama say, I'm saying what I'm saying. So, needless to say, you're gonna be able to copy one of these. I'm gonna have to make me some Mr. Mundane. We'll keep that under wraps. We'll figure in on that. But that's all I got. If anybody got any questions or any comments before we go, the floor is open. We'll entertain them. Oh, okay. Brother Mike back, he said, what they teach us is the curse of sin and death came into the world of Eve for the bloodline, the wife that came married in the land from Eve. Okay, let's just look at all this then. Let's break down some of the key words here. We've talked about curse, means to run through. Another very familiar story about a curse is the curse of Ham, because peace, Vanessa, Assalamu alaikum. The curse of Ham saw Noah naked, so he saw Noah. See, I'm saying everywhere you need to research these keywords in these stories. Naked means subtle. So he saw no subtle energy. He saw the true essence. He was cursed. So that's the same as eating the apple. He had God consciousness. Okay? Now, so when we see curse, that's what that's dealing with. Death came in. Now, this is actually true. This is what they call an occult blind, where they actually tell you the truth, but the problem is the reception of the truth or the interpretation. That the curse of sin and came into the world because of the actions of Eve. That is true. Life can only live through death. Eve had knowledge. Eve gained knowledge that there was more than that, a dichotomy that made up the unity that she came from. So there's an ignorance. If the divine is vast in its state, its vastness is also its ignorance. So it has to know something lesser than itself, know the all. Okay? Okay, all right. So by knowing something beyond itself, it has to know depth. We're talking about vibration, movement. If all I know is life, we're talking about that sine wave. If all I know is this part, then I'm devoid of the opposite. If all I know is life, I'm ignorant. If all I know is death, I'm ignorant. God, another word for God is Lord. Lord comes back to the word potentate. The witch puts her in the pot. The pot is the Lord, because everything goes in, and that's the potential. See what I'm saying? It pays to study language. Life is ignorance if it does not know death. Death is ignorance if it doesn't know life. The sign is seeing both. So the curse is the sine wave, sin, sin. So they're telling the truth. It's that the people hearing it have not been taught how to read what's not on the page. They're just reading what's on the page and taking it literally. You got to know life and death. That's what God is. That's the ebb and flow. That's what I'm trying to tell you about. When you get so one side about, oh, I ain't dealing with that mundane. He trying to be deep. No, I'm not trying to be nothing. I want to see all sides. I don't want to settle for saying that I got to be a slouch because now I've had something beyond everyday surface knowledge. I want to settle for that. The book of Psalms 82, 1 through 6, peace to the God, C. Freeman L. says, ye are gods, basically. But you should die like men. What is that saying? If the curse is so bad from a connotative standpoint, the curse of Eve, if it's so bad, then why does the scripture say, ye are gods, but you shall die like men? It's telling you it's a contract. In order for God itself to know, it has to not know. For it to live, it has to not live. And this can carry you in your mundane life. You know, it's like, man, if you catching hell, which good chance you are, this is something can keep you from losing your mind. If you understand, oh man, this boy right here, we about to have to wrap this shit up. Damn, try and get this. So this is what you call some poor parenting right here. I'm trying to shut this with this tablet, and it don't, and it wants to be locking up on me. Okay, let's try that. Okay, let's see what's going on with these comments. I got to roll. Let's see. Oh, we got Massively Foolish House. This Massively Foolish is Massively Foolish is the enigma. You know, that's what they use. Herman. Herman. Herman was his. Herman was a enemy of the masterful fool, cause Herman was mad science. He knew all these different little things about it and these ways to manipulate things, but Herman never showed his face, you know. And I remember one dude, we were out somewhere. I was guiding for a show, and Herman took me to my first time eating sushi was 10 years ago. Dieting for a show, and Herman wanted me to carb up, so I went and get some. Now this sound like some Chinese or some of y'all, but basically eat some foods with some sugars, so I could make it swell up. Went and ate some sushi with the rice, and I remember the dude was like, saw us there, and he's like, "Oh, so you're Herman? You're the enigma." The enigma as in the X. So I'm trying to figure out why I went on that tangent. It was about Massively Foolish. I don't want to say brother, sister. I don't know who Massively Foolish is. That's some fly shit came in. That name right there, because that echoes a Sufi sentiment. You know, they call themselves the idiots. They say in a world where knowledge is folly, you know, they prefer to be, you know, some shit, man. Shout out to Massively Foolish. Yeah. Okay, they be putting my joints up, and there you go. All right, it's coming. There you go. Damn. All right, so we're gonna wrap this thing up, and I just want to say in conclusion, I'm not suggesting that you need to eschew your spiritual walk. I'm very fond of numerology, astrology, gematria, astral traveling, you name it, whatever. This is by no means to suggest don't hold it, because they all do. That's the point. Everything has its place, including Malkuth. Right? So, this is Brother Jamal, mastersofthecosmos.com, and as always, reminding y'all to everything is everything. Dawu. Remember to stay down until you get up. You get up, stay down. Peace.